What's going on, folks? Ted from Immersion here, and we have a handful of new updates to content here dropping on D&D Beyond in the form of some adventures, or really, I guess, a campaign setting, and then something really interesting, which is brand new maps from our friends over at Czepeku, which is, again, some of the best maps you're going to get out there in terms of D&D tactical combat maps, and there's hundreds now available on D&D Beyond. So let's just go ahead and dive in. If you like what I do here and like this kind of coverage, as well as the other stuff we do here on the channel, consider subscribing. Oh, by the way, if you're going to ask me about the horror subclass, yes, I will be doing a live stream on that. I just have to have the time. We'll probably be doing that later today. Anyway, you can see there's an article here from a couple hours ago that says explore the Czpeku map packs, and you can see they're just showing off a variety of different things here within D&D Beyond maps. But if you were to go to this section of the D&D Beyond Marketplace, you can see Archaeological Dig, Market City Walls, Burial Barrow, Secret Fey Fountain, Sewer Tunnels, Coliseum of Challenges, Desert Caravanserai, Port Bastion, Riverwood Toll Castle. Toll? Yeah. Spider Queen Throne, Orc Desert Camp, Dwarven Throne Hall, Hanging Gardens, Jungle Temple Entrance, Dragon Horde, Medieval Jail, Celestial Gate, Village Hunting Guild, Hell's Cocktail Lounge, and Rope Bridge Chasm. Now, it doesn't have them. Does it have them listed here? No, it doesn't. But each one of those comes with a whole ton of maps built in. So you might be like, okay, well, what do I like? If you click on this, right? You might be like, oh, if I look at it, it's only, oh, it's got just, what is it, just 4 maps or 5 maps? No, it's 35 maps. So you can see here is a variety, there are variations. There's 35 variations, and you can see a handful of them if you were to scroll through and look at them here. But you'll see that each one of those has a variety, right? So if we were to go to, say, Hanging Gardens has 18 maps. You can kind of scroll down to get an idea to see some of the differences between the various maps, which obviously could change things dynamically. So you find one you like and you go from there. These are available for usage in D&D Beyond maps. Maybe I'll show you why I say maybe in just a second. But also, Ruins of Symbaroum has been added to D&D Beyond as well. So this comes to us from Free League. Now, I covered stuff for Symbaroum before in the past. We talked about, we might have even covered some Ruins of Symbaroum for Epic Encounter minis. So Symbaroum is sort of a grimdark whole campaign and, actual RPG using some of Free League's, I forget which exact engine it uses of Free League's, but Runes of Symbaroum is the 5e adaptation of that world. So whatever that world is and the kind of the setting of that world and that whole RPG, Runes of Symbaroum is the 5e version of that. And now you have access to Runes of Symbaroum setting here on D&D Beyond. Now, it is only $15. That's because it's not really giving you a ton of character creation options. If you were to scroll down, you're going to get some maps, again, which will be usable in D&D Beyond maps, but you are not really getting, like, player character options, if that makes sense, right? You're basically going to get, information about the game itself. If you were to scroll down and look at the product details, right? Player-facing section, including, knowledge and stuff for people to build characters in that setting. Section for DMs for plot hooks and truths and things of that nature. 6 locations with background, conflict, map, and events for the DMs to develop into one-shot adventures. And then guidelines for staging different kind of wilderness expeditions, traveling, etc. So that's there as well. Now, why I said it seems like they're coming to D&D Beyond, I bought just because I wanted to showcase. I wanted to be able to go into here because we have, when we pull up maps, we have our what's new in maps prompt. And it tells us again, oh, here's a little bit more of the 421 maps, right? So you can see Archaeological Dig adds 35, Village Hunting Guild 20, Market City Walls 24, Jungle Temple Entrance 22, and 16 more map packs for a grand total of 421 individual maps, each with a gridded and gridless version, your choice. Upon purchase from the marketplace, these maps will automatically show up in the map browser here in Maps under the Maps Pack tab. That's a lie, and I'll show you what I mean. Then it also talks about here Dragon Delves. We've talked about this in the past. These adventures are the Dragon Anthology adventure that's coming out with the one adventure tied to each dragon. So it's going to have 22 ready to play maps, meaning that they're pre-populated with the monster tokens. So you can just drop that map and roll. You don't have to like drag and drop all your tokens. You're going to get 12 stickers, which again are kind of like terrain, kind of overland pieces you can attach to your map. So we can show you that again if you forgot. And then grab the digital and physical bundle, ultimate bundle, to get 5 additional maps. So that'll get you to 27 maps and an additional 10 more stickers with the Dragon's Lair map pack. Now, I would hope that those are available at some point, not tied to this map pack, because people may not want to get this book. And then it says improvements. Difficulty is now calculated correctly for low and moderate encounters. That's for doing the encounter builder. So, just real quick stickers just to show you what they are. This is like, okay, if you want to throw like fire or like coffins or crates or scattered kind of terrain for a map. So, I bought, just to show you, I figured I'd pick up the Hanging Gardens. My order was placed. My order is in process. It's a digital order. I purchased it. It went through. I got the notification that I bought it. And now the next step after in process is preparing to ship. So it should just get delivered to me, but either way, because I was going to show you if I went in here and like pulled up the map browser, that we should be able to have like map packs somewhere in here as an option that we can select so that we could show you what the maps look like and how that kind of thing works. Unfortunately, it's not working at the moment. I'm going to try refreshing that page and just see if anything changed. It is, oh, it looks like it did go through. So we're going to go ahead and refresh in the process. All those lights were green now. So let's go ahead and see if now we have access to a map pack somewhere in here. I still don't see it. Basic maps? Nope, not under basic maps. Not under my uploaded maps. It's under like Czpeku map packs. Well, it seems like there's still some nuance that's happening there. If I were to go back to my account, I can see that it is in fact delivered. I'm going to close out of maps and relaunch maps entirely and see if that'll do the trick. Let's see. Can we find our maps now? We can. Okay, here we go. So I just had to reload. I hit refresh on my maps page, and that didn't do it. I had to go in and actually relaunch that. But I'll show you that now these lights are all green. And now when I go to my map browser, you can see Czepeku Hanging Gardens. And then it'll pull up all of my different options for those gardens, as you can see here. So if we wanted to do a Verdant Palace without the grid, we can go ahead and add that. Oh, it's down at the bottom here. Here we go. Now we have our Verdant Palace without the grid. We can go back to our map browser. We could add Verdant Palace with grid. And now we have one, as you can see. The grid is very light, but it is present there. But, if we wanted something, let's say we want to play in my favorite time of the year, which would be autumn. You can go ahead and add the autumn version. And now, obviously, the leaves change and things. So you could see that, obviously, you could, if this is maybe this is like a noble character's house or something, and the party is going to continue to go back to this place over time. So also consider that when you're purchasing maps. But maybe you'll be like, okay, well, now we can, change it up when it's fall, or maybe it's now nighttime. So here's their house at nighttime, or, day, night. Maybe, maybe they're a big fan and it's the Rose Festival. So now there's rose stuff everywhere. Or, maybe it got cold and it snowed out and now everything's covered in snow. Again, all of these are available right now on D&D Beyond for you to just pick up. As I said, you can just go to the D&D Beyond Marketplace. If we were to go to the D&D Beyond, so let's just actually just make our way there. We go to D&D Beyond, we click on Marketplace, and actually the first thing that's going to pop up here is the Czepeku Map Pack right here, but you'll also see here's the Ultimate Bundle, here's Valda Spire of Secrets, Malady Minar, all things we've talked about, but if we were to search for it, I think we could just search maps up here. Oh, no, that's going to take us to D&D Beyond maps. Well, anyway, I didn't even know this page existed. It'll walk you through a little bit about what goes on here. But under D&D Beyond Digital, we have rule books. Where would this fall under? Everything else, I guess. Sigil, spell cards? Or these to buy? These are the physical cards. Yeah, I guess, okay, the map packs look like they are contained under the everything else section. If you're trying to get in to make it easy, when you land on here, I would just click that kind of header bar and then go ahead and pick through and figure out which ones you want. They're only $5, and you can see you're getting sometimes in some cases 30 something maps for $5. And then obviously you can pick and choose. And then one of the cool things that you could do is if you have access to these maps now, that might help inform you when it comes to prep time, right? Maybe you didn't know where your party was going to go and you're like, I don't know. And then you're like, ooh, you know what? I have this Dwarven Throne Hall map from the Czpeku Map Packs. Maybe I go ahead and make it a Blood Palace instead. And then, like, boom, now I have an adventure for my party to go to, and I can build out the encounter, drop a couple of, tokens on the map, put maybe a couple stickers down, and then bing, bang, boom, I have my Blood Palace map. And now what was going to be you winging it completely on the fly for about a half an hour's worth of work, you now have a functional map for your party to work their way through. So anyway, folks, that is it for this kind of quick D&D Beyond update. Let you know what's going on over there. I have a couple other news updates that are coming in the near future, so stay tuned for that. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, and I'll see you all next time.